the formula that 1 plus m or 1 plus n, 1 plus m or 1 plus n, most of you are used to this n being the nominal rate, will be equal to 1 plus the real rate into 1 plus the rate of what here? Inflation. 1 plus the rate of inflation. This is quite an important formula. Very, very important formula. Now, if you allow us, ladies and gentlemen, would want to begin reading the question. Let's go to this ACCA question. I like using ACCA questions for our CPA revision because I know in some cases, CPA examiners lift questions from ACCA. They lift questions from ACCA, take them to CPA. And of course, at times also the ACCA people do the same. They lift questions from, we are not in that era where you can easily create new things. So we keep on recycling things which are in existence, ladies and gentlemen. So here we are reading this question together. Tracker company, I hope you're able to see that question. Tracker company plans to buy a new machine to meet expected demand for a new product called product T. We are told that the machine will cost $250,000 and will last for how many days? Will last for 4 years, at the end of which time it will be sold for $5,000. So you can see the total value lost. We are buying this thing at $250,000, and by the end of its useful life, the scrap value will only be $5,000. I can see quite a lot of depreciation in between there. We are told Tracker company expects demand for product T to be as follows. So we have year 1, 2, 3, and 4. We are told there that the selling price for product T is expected to be 12 per unit, and the variable cost of production is expected to be $7.8 per unit. Incremental annual fixed overheads of $25,000 per year will be incurred. We are told here the selling price and the costs are all in current terms. And the selling price you can see there will increase by 3%, variable cost will increase by 4%, fixed production overheads will increase by 6%. Other information, Tracker company has a real, they've given us something bad, has a real cost of capital of 5.7%. Whenever you're given real cost of capital, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you're given real cost of capital, ladies and gentlemen, we don't work with real cost of capital to discount our cash flows. Whenever you're given real cost of capital, of course, I expect they're ahead of us. Our examiner will have to give us the inflation rate so that I can now convert the real cost of capital to what we call the nominal cost of capital, which is normally used for purposes of discounting, Now, ladies and gentlemen, we go back to the question. Let's go back to the question. So back to the question there. They are telling us that Tracker company has a real cost of capital of 5.7% and pays tax at an annual rate of 30%, 1 year in arrears. It can claim tax allowable depreciation of 25% on a reducing balance basis. So they're telling us, ladies and gentlemen, is that our depreciation of the asset that we got up there will be executed, will be done, will be analyzed using reducing balance method. General inflation, which is my I there, the general inflation is expected to be 5% per year. So required, calculate the net present value of buying the machine and a comment on your findings, and they want us to work to the nearest what here? $1,000. So ladies and gentlemen, this kind of a question is a straightforward question, but very few CPA Section 5 students will be able to get this question 100% all the marks there. Very many of them will lose out. So like now, I would want us straight away, because this examiner has given me the real cost of capital, I would want to start by ascertaining the nominal. Cost of capital. And I'm writing on the table here, ladies and gentlemen, the nominal cost of capital. This examiner has given me the real. The real cost of capital, which the examiner gave us in the question, was 5.7%. 5.7%. And then they went ahead and gave us the general inflation rate. The general inflation rate in the question here is 5%. 5%. And therefore, I should be able to get the nominal. How do I get the nominal from this particular question? From this particular question, I can say 1 plus nominal equals 1 plus our real of 5.7% into 1 plus our general inflation, which is 5 what year? 5%. General inflation, which is 5%. General inflation, which is 5%. Now, my great students, come and plug in the figures here. So we have 1 plus our nominal being equal to 1 plus the real rate of return, or rather the real rate of return. We have already this 1 plus 5.7%. So 1 plus 5.7%, if you have a good calculator, normally rely on your calculators, we'll talk over 1 plus 5.7 divided by 100, which will give us 1.057 into 1.05. Go ahead and do your multiplications times 1.05. I'm able to get my 1 plus nominal being 1.10985. So I want to be left with a nominal alone. So take the 1 on the other side. Take the 1 on the other side. If you take the 1 on the other side, it will be minus 1. So this will be 0.10985, which is the same as 10.985 what year percent. So for purposes of discounting my cash flows, I would rather we round this off to 11 what year? 11%. I would rather we round this off to 11%, to 11%, 11%. That is a mark straight away. And remember, in AFM, getting 1 mark like that can make you see places, can make you see places that you have never seen before, can make you see places that you have never seen before. Now, ladies and gentlemen, having gotten this, the next thing that I will do is to compute my depreciation. Why am I computing depreciation? Remember, in finance, for purpose of discounting, you can only compute depreciation or capital allowance when the rate of taxation has been given. If tax rate has been given, then depreciation becomes relevant. If you're writing notes down there, tell us there, right there that if tax rate is provided, if the rate of tax is provided, depreciation becomes relevant. Depreciation becomes relevant. If tax is 0, never ever dare to compute depreciation. Never ever dare to compute depreciation. I hope that is clear, ladies and gentlemen. So I would want us to calculate depreciation. Depreciation, they have told us to use reducing balance method. Depreciation is the same as capital allowance. For us in AFM, really, that doesn't bring a lot of issues. So come here very fast, ladies and gentlemen. We start with the depreciation for year 1. Depreciation for year 1, what do we have there for year 1? Remember, we bought our machine for how much? 250,000. And then, ladies and gentlemen, these people, they have given us on this particular note before required. I hope you're able to see the question on your screen. Before required, they are telling us that Tracker company has a real cost of capital of 5.7% and it pays tax at an annual rate of 30% 1 year in arrears. It can claim the allowable depreciation on a 25% reducing balance basis. So every year, 25%. So we have 250,000. I want to get depreciation for year 1 times 25%, which will give us what figure, my great students? So we have here 250,000 times 0.25, which will end up giving us 62,500. So we go to year number 2. Year number 2, my depreciation of 25% will be applied on the reduced value. At the beginning of year 1, the asset was what? 250,000. But ladies and gentlemen, during the same year, the asset lost value was 62,500. So the written down value, the reduced balance here will be 250,000 minus 62 what year? 500, like that. So we have here 250,000 minus answer, which gives us 187 what year? 500. And then I apply the rate of depreciation there, which gives me 46, 800 what year? 75. 46, 875. Let's go to year number 3. So year number 3, what do we have? We have 25% of the reduced value. Reduced value here is 250,000 minus 62,500 minus what it lost in year 2, which was 46,875. So subtract like that. So we have 250,000 minus 62,500 minus my answer there, whatever I get times 0.25, which will end up giving me 35, 156, like that. Now, after that, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to go ahead and give me the depreciation for year number 4. Depreciation for year number 4. Depreciation for year number 4, that now should come from you. So year number 4, that should come from you. Year number 4, that should come from you. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that year 4 happens to be the last year. Year 4 happens to be the last year. If it is our last year, the last year of the project had a useful life of how many years? 4 years. So for the last year, ladies and gentlemen, normally we don't apply this percentage at all, if you can remember. For the last year, we are supposed to ascertain the balancing charge. The balancing charge, what do? You'll come and take the initial cost of the project, 250,000, minus all the values it lost. All the values it lost, minus all the values it lost, minus 35,156. And then don't forget to subtract what year? The scrap value. Don't forget to subtract the scrap value. So don't apply the percentage here. Take the initial cost of the project minus all the amounts we lost in each of those years. And then, of course, minus the scrap value. So then this will be 250,000 minus 62,500, minus 46,875 minus 35, 156 minus 5,000, like that, which will end up giving us, ladies and gentlemen, 100 here, 100, 460 what here, 469. And if you want, you can come and see whether you're correct by trying to do a small reconciliation here. Give us the total depreciation over the years. So over the years, take the figure that you have here, plus 35, 156 plus 46, 875 plus 62,500. This will give us total depreciation of 245,000 over the 4 years. And remember, when we bought the asset at 250,000, ladies and gentlemen, minus 250,000 minus the scrap value. The scrap value of the asset at the end of the 4 years, we are told in this case here was what here? 5,000. If you subtract these two, they should be able to agree to that 245,000. Is there somebody who got this answer, ladies and gentlemen? Is there somebody who got this answer? Is there somebody who got that answer? Dan, eh? Dan says he got the answer. And now remember, they told us, ladies and gentlemen, to write our figures into the nearest $1,000. In the nearest $1,000, so I expect you to divide these figures here by 1,000. You divide the figures there by 1,000, and then you give us whole numbers, nearest 1,000. So in short, we are saying that in summary, our depreciations will be as follows. We have year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. So nearest 1,000. Please look at the requirement. Look at the required. If you look at the requirement in the question, if you go back to the question required, they want us to give them, in order to calculate the net present value of buying the new machine and comment on your findings, work to the nearest $1,000. So you take like this one, divided by 1,000, you get 2,500. So the nearest will be 60 what? 63. And then we have the nearest here will be 47. Terms of dollars, 1,000, nearest, whole number. And then we have there 35. And then lastly, divide by, this will give us exactly what here? 100. Please save this figure somewhere. We'll need them. We'll need them. But now, ladies and gentlemen, remember, we have been able to calculate depreciation simply because the examiner gave us the rate of taxation. If he never gave us the rate of taxation, then we'll not have computed depreciation. Depreciation would have become irrelevant. Are we together up to there? Is there somebody who is able to appreciate what we are doing? Is there somebody who has been able to get an understanding of this? Or is there anything you'd want us to repeat? So let's now go ahead with our workings. Please save these figures. Now, what do they want us to compute, ladies and gentlemen? They want us to compute net present value. And for us to be able to compute the net present value, we would need cash flows. And for us to get the cash flows, I expect you, for us to be able to get cash flows, I expect you to know that cash flows have every relationship with the profitability. So we must be having a profit statement. After getting the profits, we'll be able to know how to convert them to what here? To cash flows. So we have our profit statements. You can mention their profit, stroke cash flow statement, profit stroke cash flow statement. So we have 4 years, 1, 2, 3. Our project has 4 years only. So we start with the price. So what have they given us as price? I can see in that question, they have given us the price. In that question, they have given us the price. Are you able to see our price in the question? They have given us the selling price there in this particular second paragraph after the demand. Second paragraph after the demand. They are telling us that the selling price for product T is expected to be 12 per unit. And the variable cost of production is expected to be 7.8 per unit. In incremental annual fixed production overheads of $25,000 per year will be incurred. The selling price and the costs are all in current price terms. Current price terms. Current means times 0. In finance, current means times 0. So meaning it will be important for me to introduce time what? Times 0 there. Times 0 there. So therefore, the current price, the current selling price is 12. And this selling price, ladies and gentlemen, they have told us, we expect it to grow by 3% per year. We expect the selling price to grow by 3% per year. So by the end of year 1, it will be 12 times 1.03, end of year 1. If you wish, you can get this figure separately. If you wish, you can come and tell us 12 times 1.03. You get an answer there, 12.36. Every year it will be growing by 3%. So we'll come and talk of 12.36 here times 1.03. So if you try that, so times 1.03, this will end up giving us 12.731. But you see, this is quite lengthy. If I'm the one doing this, I'll come for year 2 talk of 12, which is uniform, times 1.03 raised to year what year? Raised to year 2. And then I'll go here and talk of 12 times 1.03 raised to year 3. If you try this, just try, you'll see 12 times 1.03 raised to power 3, raised to power 2 first, raised to power 2 first. So raised to power 2, I'm able to get exactly this figure here. So if I'm the one doing this, ladies and gentlemen, what I will do, I have begun here with 12, then end of year 1 will be 12 times 1.03 raised to power 1. This will be 12 times 1.03 raised to power 2. This will be 12 times 1.03 raised to power 3. This will be 12 times 1.03 raised to power 4. So please give us figures. Give us these figures. Give us the figures. So this one here had given us 12.73. Then we have 12 times 1.03 raised to power 3, which will give us 13.11. And then we have lastly raised to power 4. Raised to power 4, we have 13.51. Thank you very much. Are we together up to there? Especially on this, so many students here end up getting a 0 because most of them would have placed the 12 here. Forgetting that, this examiner is a tricky examiner. He has told you that the price given there is a current price. Current price, just like how we talk of current dividends, if you recall current dividends, we normally write them like this, D0. Dividends which are historical, the ones that have been paid. 0 means now. So the current dividend, the current price here is 12, which they have told us will keep on growing every year by 3%. Every year by 3%. Every year by what year? By 3%. Every year by 3%. Every year by 3%. Every year by 3%. Now, ladies and gentlemen, go to the next question. If you look at, not a question, but the next paragraph there. The next paragraph there is talking about what? The next paragraph there is variable cost of what year? Production. The next one is talking about variable cost of production. So the variable cost of production, they have given us a figure in that particular statement where they spoke about variable cost price being a current. This second paragraph, they gave us a variable cost of 7.8. Variable cost current is 7.8. And then in the increments table, they've told us that variable cost of production will increase by 4% every year. Will increase by 4% every year. Will increase by 4% every year. I'm assuming that they're able to see this question. Are they able to see it? Not yet, okay. Let's pin the question there. We pin the question there. Very good. So the variable cost given in paragraph number 2 is 7.8 per watt year per unit. And then you can see the next paragraph is talking about how variable cost will change, of which they have told us that the variable cost of production will increase by 4% every year. Every year. So here we have 7.8 times 1.04. 7.8 times 1.04 raised to power 2. Then we have 7.8 times 1.04 raised to power 3. 7.8 times 1.04 raised to power 4, like that. So now come and give us these parameters. Give us these parameters. So 7.8 times 1.04, what do we have? I have a good calculator here. We have 7.8 times 1.04, 1.04, 2 decimal places. Here we have 8.11. So 7.8 again times 1.04 raised to power 2, which will end up giving us 8.43 or 8.44, 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. Then we have here raised to power 3. Raised to power 3, this gives us 8.77. Then we have raised to power 4, which gives us at the end of the day 9.12, like that. Is there any other cost they have given us? Oh, yes. Please go back to our question. Let us pin the question there. If you go back to our question, they have given us something to do with the fixed cost. They have told us that the fixed costs are 25,000 FC, fixed cost, 25,000. And how do we expect this to grow? How do we expect them to grow? Ladies and gentlemen, they have told us fixed production overheads, 6% per year. So currently they are 25,000. So this will be 25,000 times 1.06. Then we have 25,000 times 1.06 raised to power 2. 25,000 times 1.06 raised to power 3. Then we have 25,000 times 1.06 raised to power 4, like that. So please give us figures, give us figures, give us figures. What do we have there? Somebody give us figures. So we have here 25,000 times 1.06, which gives us 26,500. So here we have 26,500. 26,500 raised to power 2. We have 28,090. 28,090 raised to power 3. We have 29,775. Then we have raised to power 4. Raised to power 4, which gives us 31,560 what? 562, like that. 562. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would want this to go as a working. This is a working. And I would want us, in this case here, straight away to move to the totals. These people have given us the units demanded. Units demanded, if we were to go to our question, the units demanded, the question there, units demanded, what do we have? Units demanded, what do we have? Units demanded, units demanded. So you can see here, number one, we shall be able to sell 35,000 units. How about year number two? Year number two will be able to sell 40,000 units. Year two, 40,000. How about year three? Year three, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to sell 50,000 units. Year three, we're going to sell 50,000 units. Year four, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to sell 25,000 units. 25,000 units like that. So remember, price is value per unit. And I want the total revenue. Total revenue. So for me, what I will do, I would want to change these parameters here to total revenue. And how do I change this now to total revenue? I will come and write here revenue. Revenue is price times quantity. Revenue is price times quantity. The quantity is here. So I'll take 35,000 times 12.36. So you take 35,000 times 12.36. Whatever I get is 432, 600. But you see, the examiner, now that we are coming to almost an end, the examiner wants us to be cognizant of the rule, writing our answers into the nearest dollar as 1,000. So nearest dollar is 1,000. You take whatever you get, you divide by 1,000, and then you write a whole number, So meaning that if you guys are keen enough, you must have realized that the revenue for year one is supposed to be 400 what year? 33. 433. Is there somebody who has a question there? Any question, or can I proceed? Why are we raising? So I tried in this case here to explain, ladies and gentlemen. You see, like now here, you see, like here, we spoke of what here. Let us look at this clearly. We said the price at the beginning of the year, it was what year? 12. And then now we go, this is beginning of the year. The price, I can write here, the price at the beginning of the year. The price at the beginning of the year, which is times 0, was 12. We go to year one. So year one, it will be 12 times 1.03. So 12 times 1.03, which will end up giving us 12.36. We go to year two. So year two, it will be 12.36. Remember, the 3% is constant. So 12.36 times 1.03. So if you take 12.36 times 1.03, what we shall end up getting at the end of the day is 12.73. But you see, the same would have been obtained like this, using the formula amount equals principal into 1 plus r raised to power n. Raised to power n. So like now here, I would have spoken of 12. The principal here is 12 times 0 is 12. So 12 into 1 plus our r. Our rate of growth is 0.03 raised to power 1. I come to the second one. I maintain 12 into 1 plus 0.03, but this time around raised to power what here? Power 2, because you're talking of year 2. So then this will be 12 times 1.03 raised to power 2. You will end up getting the same answer. So you can use our usual method that you normally use in class, or you take up this. So I'm giving you an option. I hope I've been able to answer you, my friend. I would want feedback from that student if he's hearing. If you have not understood, you simply say, still yet, I haven't understood. My work will be to repeat. I repeat severally until everyone understands. Thank you very much. He's saying he has understood. He's saying he has understood. He's saying he has understood. Okay. Very good, very good, very good, very good. So we continue, ladies and gentlemen. Come back here, Please give us the revenue figures. Give us the revenue figures for year 2. How do we get revenue, sales revenue? It's price times quantity. So we have, this was a selling price times the quantity you expect to sell in year 2. So we have 40,000 times 12.73. Whatever I get divided by 1,000. And then, of course, I write a whole number as per the examiner's instruction. So I'm able to get a figure of 5. I'm able to get a figure of 509. 509 here. And if you allow me, ladies and gentlemen, I'll go to the next one, which is 50,000 times 13.11. 50,000 times 13.11 divided by 1,000. So this is giving us 600 and what here? 56. 656. You go to the fourth one, 25,000 times 13.51, which will end up, of course, divided by 1,000, which will end up giving us 338. 338. 338. So we have here 338 like that. So let's go to variable cost. Variable cost, as usual, this is variable cost per unit. And I'm interested in an income statement which captures profitability for all the units that we produced and sold. So I need to come and take the variable cost given here times the quantities. So like the first one, the quantity is 35,000. 35,000 times the variable cost of 8.11, which gives me, again, in terms of thousands, this will be 284. This will be 284. I'm not interested in there because I don't have any quantities. So this is 284. The next one will be 8.44 variable cost per unit times 40,000 times 40,000, which gives me 338. This gives me 338. So we have here 338. 338. The next one will be 8.77 times 50,000, which will end up giving me 439. So here we have 439. 439. The last one will be 9.12 times 25,000 units being demanded, which will end up giving us 228 here. 228. 228. Now from there, ladies and gentlemen, I'll come and take my fixed costs. Fortunately for fixed costs, I've got really nothing much to do. Fixed cost already, I know these are lump sum expenses. The only thing that I need to do is to come and divide them by 1,000, and then I write them in form of a whole number. So this one divided by 1,000 gives me 26.5. In terms of a whole number, this will be 20 what here? 27. In terms of a whole number, this will be 28 thousands. In terms of thousands, this one here will be 30. This one here will be 32. Like that. Now, my great students, having gotten that, I'm a bright student. I know that the next thing will be for me to come and measure the profit. How do we measure the profit? Take the sales revenues and then you subtract the expenses that you have. So we have here 433 minus 284 minus 27, giving me 122. Is there somebody who is able to get these figures? Is there anybody who is able to get these figures? These figures, people should be able to get them. People should be able to get them. What are we doing? We are getting profits, because it is out of profits that we shall be able to ascertain, our cash flows, So is there anybody who is able to get, yes, thank you very much. Go to year two. Year two, we have 509 minus 338 minus 28 equals, which gives us 140 what? 143. Then we have 656 minus 439 minus 30, which gives us 100 what here? 87. From there we have 338 minus 228 minus 32, which will end up giving me 70 what? 78. Now, which profit is this that we have gotten? Remember, we have got many types of profits. For example, we have profit after tax. We have profit before whatever tax. So the profits that we have been able to get, ladies and gentlemen, according to your understanding, are which type of profits? The ones who are on Facebook, I like you guys, I can also see that you are really commenting. Please also on the comments there, when you have an answer, just tell us the answer. Tell us the answer there. And of course, the ones who are on Facebook, I expect you to share this livecast intensively. Bring all your friends on the table. Bring all your friends on the table. In these COVID-19 times, most of your friends have never gotten a chance of getting such a lecture, which are giving you free of charge, at least for today. For today, it's free of charge. So please also share the same with them. Share the same with them. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have here? This is profit, of course, before depreciation and what? Tax. That is the first profit you normally get in FM, in AFM. So you have got two ways of handling this, but I like the longer way, where we'll come and say less what here depreciation. So less depreciation. So could you kindly remind us the depreciation amounts that you were getting? There are depreciation amounts that you guys had saved. Kindly give us these depreciation amounts. Give us these depreciation amounts. What do we have there? Somebody give us the depreciation amounts. The first one is 63. I'm getting those figures from my students. I'm getting the figures from my students. 47. Depreciation for year 3. 35. And then lastly, 100. I'm being told 100. So please come and subtract. Please come and subtract them. Whatever I will get will be called the profit before tax, now that the depreciation element has gone. So subtract and then give us figures. Subtract and then give us figures. Subtract and then you give us the figures. Subtract and then you give us the figures. Subtract and then you give us the figures. So what do we have here? 122 minus 63. People should be able to give us the figures very fast. This is quite early in the morning. We are very fresh. And I hope in the group the numbers increased. Did they? Or they're still 13? 17. Great number, great number, great number, given that I've not given you any notice. The first student is giving me a figure of 59, 76, 96, 153, lastly, negative 22, isn't it? Now, ladies and gentlemen, from there, please go ahead and compute your taxation. Compute your taxation. Compute your taxation. Compute tax. Remember the rate of tax which has been given. If you could show them the question, the rate of tax given there is 30%. The rate of taxation given there is 30%. Are they able to see the question? The rate of taxation given there is 30%. Rate of tax is 30%. Rate of taxation is 30%. Rate of taxation is 30%. So please give us the tax amount which you shall be paying. Ladies and gentlemen, 30% of 59.3 times 59, that gives us 18. Remember, you're writing in whole numbers. That gives us 18. Then we have 30%, 0.3 of 90, 0.3 of 96, 0.3 of 96, 0.3 of 96. That gives me 29. And then we have 153 times 0.3, which gives me 46. If you have realized, I'm not writing my tax figures, if you could show them. I'm not writing the taxation figures immediately in the respective years. I'm so sure most of you, this is what you did. You must have taken like 18, put 18 here, and so forth. That is the ordinary, the normal thing that we normally do. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, this examiner was very categorical. He told us that tax is paid 1 year in arrears. Tax is paid 1 year in arrears. Tax is paid 1 year in arrears, meaning that tax for year 1 will be paid in year 2. Tax for year 2 will be paid in year 3, and so forth. Yes. How we got depreciation figures, this is a working that we started with. That must be a student who came in a little bit late. So, Liz, thank you very much, Liz. And I'm happy because today you have been able to enter, I hope, without struggling. without struggling. So Liz, the very best, instead of Mwalimu going back to start this question from the scratch, I'll be playing you this video immediately after I finish this class. On Zoom, we have discovered how we can do it. I'll be playing for you this very video, and then you'll be able to follow it from the beginning. We had already computed the figures much earlier, and I'm almost finishing it. So what is 30% of negative 22? So we have here negative 22 times 0.3, which gives us negative 7. So I'll come and put negative 7 here, and then now we introduce what here, the fifth year. The fifth year was not part of our problem. But now you see, because of the fact, ladies and gentlemen, of this scenario where the examiner has told us that tax is being paid 1 year in what? In arrears. 1 year in arrears, we must introduce 1 extra year there, an additional year. The other thing that I've always discovered that students do, a mistake, big mistake, they normally tell you that tax, whenever it's a loss, you don't tax. No. In finance, you normally tax everything. That's how you cram it. In finance, whether it's a profit or a loss, we normally provide for taxation. So please come and subtract here. Give us what we call profit after what year? After taxation. So profit after taxation, what do we have? We have 59. So we are subtracting, remember, we are subtracting these figures. So we have here 96. 96 minus 18. 96 minus 18 gives us 78. Then we have 153 minus 29, giving us 124. Then we have minus 22. Minus 22 minus 46, giving us, ladies and gentlemen, minus what here? 68. And then lastly, of course, we know up here there is a 0, eh? So we'll be talking of 0 minus of the brackets, and then the figure itself is minus. So it will be 0. It will be 0 minus 7. 0 minus 7 gives us what here? Somebody gives us positive 7, like that. Is there anybody who has a question? Anybody who has a question? Anybody who has a question? Is there anyone who has a question? They're saying year 3 is supposed to be? It's supposed to, oh, she has been able to see her own mistake. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, having straight away now discovered that we are on the same wavelength, having gotten profits after tax, we can only change profits after taxation to cash flows quite easily by adding back what? Depreciation. Once I get my part to get cash flows, take the part plus depreciation. So come and add here depreciation, add here depreciation. So depreciation amounts are here. We have 63. Then we have, in this case here, 47. Then we have here 35. And then we have 100. So please come and add very fast. And I hope, my admin, you are able to see my figures down here on the board. We are still okay, right? Thank you very much. So please add. So what do we have? Whatever we'll be having here will be called cash flow. Operational cash flow. Operational cash flow. So operational cash flow, we have 59 plus 63, which gives us 100 what here? 22. 122. From there, we have 78 plus 47. Plus 47, so 48 plus 47, that gives us 100 what here? 25. 125. And then we have 124 plus 35, which will give us 100 what here? 59. And then we have here minus 68 plus 100, which will end up giving us 32. 32. And then when you add this, of course, you'll end up getting what here? 7. You'll end up getting 7. You'll end up getting 7. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I could just summarize this thing this way, we have year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. So we have our operational cash flow. We have our operational cash flows. Year number 1, we have 122. We have 125. we have 159, we have 32, we have 7. So we'll come and add the terminal cash flows. You add what we call the terminal cash flows. So terminal cash flows, ladies and gentlemen, are normally two. We have the scrap value. Like in this question, remember, our scrap value of $5,000 was coming at what point? Of $5,000, it was coming at the end of year 4. At the end of year 4, remember our figures are in terms of thousands, so we put it there. Don't take it to year 5. Year 5 was basically born because of the 1 year tax in arrears. Otherwise, it's not that helpful to us. So the project was ending at year 4, end of year 4. Now, the other type of terminal cash flow is the release of working capital, which has already been provided here. So then what we need to do is to come and put dashes there for me to be able to get what we call the total cash flow. So the total cash flow, we have 122, 125, 159. Then we have 37. And then lastly, we have got what here? 7. We have 7. Now, ladies and gentlemen, after that, I expect you guys now to come very fast and discount these figures. Come and discount these figures for us. I don't like doing it. There's a question. Yes. Terminal cash flow. When you terminate a project, there are those cash benefits you will get. If I terminate, if this project comes at the end, comes to the end like now it will be ending in year 4. Once in this case here, this project ends, what will happen? The project will be termed scrap and will be able to get a scrap value of 5,000. It's a very good example of a terminal cash flow. When you terminate, of course, you will not lose everything. There are those cash benefits you'll be getting at the end of a particular project. They are positive cash flows, positive cash flows. I don't know whether Isaiah, I'm clear up to there. Has he responded? Not yet. I'm waiting for him because we have to get that feedback. And please, if you have not understood, you simply say, I have not understood. Terminal, terminate, end of the project. What do you expect to get at the end of the project? At the end of the project, I'll sell this thing as a scrap, get 5, like that. At the end of the project, if there are any working capital that I put in, I'll have to get the same coming back to me. Perhaps has responded. Understood. Thank you very much. So what I will do, I will come and rewrite these cash flow statement of mine in this way. So we have year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. Come and give us our cash flows. So our cash flows here, we have 122, we have 125, we have 159, we have 37, and then we have got what here? We've got 7 there. So what I need to do, because these are fluctuating cash flows, you need to come and introduce what we call PVIF. PVIF at what cost of capital? Remember, we had computed our cost of capital from the very beginning up there. Our cost of capital that we calculated from the very beginning up there using Fisher's equation because of the general rate of inflation was 11%. 11%. And now that you've given me the cost of capital, I will remember the PV formula very first. PV is present value interest factor, which will be obtained by us taking 1 plus R raised to negative what here? Raised to negative N. 1 plus R raised to negative N. So that will be 1.11 because R is the cost of capital, which is 11%. So then this will be 1.11 raised to negative 1. 1.11 raised to negative 1. What figure are we getting here? We are getting 0.9009. Remember, for the PVIFs, you must always round them off to 4 decimal places. That is our tradition. PVIFs, even PVIF are 4 decimal places. So go to year number 2. Year number 2, we have 1.11 raised to negative 2, which will give me 0.8116 raised to negative 3. This will give me 0.7312 raised to negative 4. This will give me 0.6587 raised to negative 5. This will give me 0.5935, like that. So having gotten the PVIFs, I need to use them to discount the cash flows. So create the last column there, and call it present value. So present value, take 122 times, you multiply like that. So we have, I can begin with the last one times 7, because I have the last one. The last one, 2 decimal places, we have 4.15. 4.15. So go to the first one, we have 122 times 0.9009. we have 109.9. So we have 109.9. From there, we have 125 times 0.8116, which gives us 101.45. Then we have 159 times 0.7312, which gives us, ladies and gentlemen, 116.26, like that. The last one is 37 times 0.6587, which gives me 24.37, like that. So come and give us the total present value down here. Give us the total PV, the total present value down there. So the total present value down there, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have there? Plus 4.15 plus 116.26 plus 101.45 plus 109.9. So is there somebody who is able to get 356 total present value? 356.13, 356.13. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think shall I do to be able to convert this total present value to net present value that the examiner wanted us to get? What do you think shall I do for us to be able to get this total present value being a net present value? Being a net present value. Being a net present value. Being a net present value. Is there somebody who has responded and told us that for us to be able to get net present value, we normally take total present value minus the initial cost. Minus the initial cost. So we should take the total present value of 356.13 minus the initial cost of this particular project, which was 250, which was 250. So could you kindly, ladies and gentlemen, subtract for us, subtract this for, you'll end up getting 106.13. And because the examiner wanted us to write in a whole number, that is a net present value, which is 106.2, or rather 106. So as I explained to them what this means, I would want my admin here to take me to the answer given by ACCA in this book, question number 40. You simply scroll to the answers, and the students should be able to see whether we are right or wrong. So you go to the answers right at the, could be around page number 250, or tracker company. You can search it, tracker company. Just tracker, yeah. So if you scroll that up a little bit, so yes. So if you look at the question, ladies and gentlemen, the way it has been set, I don't want us to go through everything there. I would simply want us to go to the final answer here. If you are able, if you could just point to them, the 106, if you could point to them, you'll be able to see the 106 what year, 1,000, which has been given there. And of course, once we have NPV being positive, so what do we say? That this particular project is viable. You get one additional mark by telling us that the project is viable. You get one mark by telling us that the project is what year? The project is viable. Ladies and gentlemen, remember RCM College is based at Stanbanker House, 1st and 7th floor. And we happen to be producing great revision kits for CPA. So if you are really struggling with this paper, because I know there are students who even do AFM like 5 times, don't do that. Just sign up for our online classes, and then you buy our revision kits, and I can assure you, you will be set to succeed. You'll be set to pass this paper. We happen to belong to a WhatsApp community of students who will be doing this AFM paper. And if you wish to be part of us, simply call us here, 0719 525,000. Just call us or WhatsApp us here, and we shall be able to list you up to that particular WhatsApp group of AFM students. Otherwise, I want to take this opportunity to thank you so much. Please, those students who have been following us on Facebook, just share whatever post you're seeing over there, and we shall always remain grateful. Otherwise, thank you very much. You guys enjoy your day and be very productive at your workplaces. God bless you.